Welcome back, Love Stylers. I'm Misty. Today we're going to be talking about a carnivore lifestyle and how it can help you keep a natural high in the way of sustaining dopamine, which is the pleasure center of our brains. The reason a lot of people love to eat sugary or crappy carbohydrates and fake foods and things in a package, junk food, essentially, is because they receive a dopamine hit in the brain. It's called a dopamine spike. So dopamine is the happy hormone in our bodies. And when we eat junk foods, especially things high in refined sugars particularly, and other things, we get a spike and makes us think we are high. It gives us a high. This might be my favorite concept about why, especially Americans and other people around the world, have a problem eating terribly. And we actually think that we are happy. Now, it is short-lived. And I don't even really think we have a problem with food all that much. And I really don't even think we have a problem with discipline with food all that much. I'm going to blame it on the dopamine today. And when you eat a mostly meat-based, protein-heavy diet, as we do when we eat mostly carnivore, keto, or low carb especially, you will receive dopamine just from eating the right foods that our body needs for nutrition. So the whole idea of eating well and giving your body what it needs to thrive gives you the feeling of something you have achieved on a daily basis, on a moment-to-moment basis at times, when you are cleaning up your health. So keeping a dopamine feeling in your body can be sustained if you eat well. This is what I have found. So it's my 6th year being on a low-carb diet, starting on keto 3 years, and now I'm into carnivore for 3, and I love my life now. Now, some people have found 90% carnivore, which is how I eat, to be confusing. Look at the comments of last week's video if you want to see a little bit of controversy in there, because I call it a 90% carnivore diet. Well, that's the only way I can explain it. I have other foods occasionally. I have a regular life. For me to sustain this way, this lifestyle of eating well, I have to include, so far, some other foods occasionally. Maybe some vegetables, maybe some salad dressing, maybe some coffee, chocolate, honey. Some people in the comments say I should not call it a 90% carnivore diet. It either is or isn't. Well, that's the only way I can explain how I eat and how much I want to share with you guys. This has changed me for the better. I feel like I live in the happy hormone of dopamine at all times. Now, I'm sure it comes and I'm sure it goes. And I'm not perfect all the time and just happy-go-lucky constantly. But I'll tell you what, I am so much happier in my life. I love my life now. Not just because of weight loss. Not just because of inches lost, but because I've gotten off medication for high blood pressure, which is probably my favorite reason. And I've stayed away from alcohol, which used to give me the biggest dopamine hit of all. Other things can give us a dopamine hit. So I'm going to look at my notes. And what I have written is, of course, when you achieve something, when you feel proud of yourself, music is the first thing that comes to mind. Because guys, I'm a musician. I play keyboards for Black Eyed Soul. Check us out. We're available anywhere there's streaming music and blackeyedsoul.com. Music can move you. It makes you feel happy. When I nail a track, for example, when we're recording, I get a dopamine hit from that when I listen back. Dancing, movies, art, inspiration. And that's something I'm addicted to these days, is inspiration, giving it and receiving it. Sex, of course, when you think of a good dopamine hit. Exercise is great. Sleep actually gives you dopamine hits, which is kind of weird because you think it has to be something very active. It does not. Even meditation, playing sports, achieving something, creating, painting, your hobbies that you love the most. Pets, they give unconditional love. We share dopamine. Also laughter, which is my very favorite dopamine hit of all. When I get surges of laughter and having a good time and collaborating with friends or family or even strangers, I love it. I feel high. I actually feel high. And even when I was writing this video, I felt like there was a lot of dopamine in my system. I can feel it. There is no mistaking it. And when you eat on a mostly carnivore diet, you can experience this. Or even if you just clean up your diet from what you might be doing now, this will happen naturally. Absolutely naturally. And it's amazing. When someone compliments you, you get a dopamine hit. When you walk out in nature and you smell a flower. The problem with dopamine spikes is that it's short-lived. When we experience more pleasure, even if it's for short moments of time, we have more blood flow. We have more circulation in the body. We do better overall. What I'm promoting today is for you to think about having that feeling with real food that we are supposed to eat ancestrally, just like our ancestors did, and receiving those dopamine hits that is a sustained, not just spike, feeling throughout your day. And this is what I have experienced when I have been eating on a 90% carnivore diet. And it's crazy because it's a natural high. And for me, guys, I was addicted to alcohol my entire adult life. Now, I just gave that up when I started on my low carb journey. I think it's been 6 years now. I have not touched a drop of alcohol since I started on a keto then carnivore diet, a low carb lifestyle, because I feel like I don't need it anymore. That dopamine feeling is in me almost constantly. I'm sure you're pissed off. Sometimes. Yeah, like you're perfect because you eat meat, dairy, and eggs most of the time. Come on. No, there's no way I could constantly live on a dopamine high, but I feel like it's there most of the time. I feel elated, happy to be alive, wanting to achieve all of my goals, more focused when I am. Of course, it helps to be very, very focused on eating mostly meat, dairy, and eggs, and staying on plan. That helps an awful lot. I will say that eating a 90% carnivore diet, as I do, is not for everyone, and I want to be clear about this. Now, my intention here is not to prescribe anything, because who am I? I'm just a regular working stiff who is a struggling artist, musician, trying to make my way in this world and clean up my health. But this may not be the lifestyle for you. It's like starting from scratch and relearning nutrition from the bottom up. If you are a carnivore, if you eat low carb, or if you're on keto, or even if you just are learning more about nutrition, then you have a secret that most people are still trying to figure out. Anyone can lose weight on a short-term diet, but we see this over and over again. They lose the weight, they lose it so darn fast, but what happens down the line for most people, not everybody? They gain it back. From the organs, from the inside, cleaning up our livers, fixing our leaky gut, fixing the reward centers in our brain to be on autopilot, and having that dopamine daily without the sugary foods, I feel like it's way more smart to try it this way. Now you have to know yourself. And if you feel it's too extreme, then you may not want to try a carnivore diet. But going on keto, starting to look at nutrition, starting to learn about labels on packaged foods, and starting to eliminate the crap out of your life will help you tremendously. If you think Joe Rogan is a smart man, if you think Jordan Peterson is a smart man, if you think Shawn Baker is a smart man, I urge you to check them out. And they have all found success with the carnivore diet. Now, I do want to point out, because I never plug this, that I have been on a couple of people's shows, and I will link them below so you can see that even on these shows where we're invited to talk about our journey, and I'm very proud of both of my guest spots. One was on Meet RX, where someone got a hold of me from Shawn Baker's REVERO Health. I'm very proud of the discussion we had, and it's about me being a carnivore who occasionally has a vegetable here and there and some other foods occasionally. So this is not black and white. If you think it's black and white, I urge you to watch Shawn Baker's platform, REVERO Health, where they interview tons of people who have come to this way of living, this way of eating, and doing a mostly carnivore lifestyle. Also, check out Alyssa Grubner's channel, which is called Carnivore Stories Podcast. And her channel's great. It's very similar to Shawn Baker's channel, where they interview tons of people who have come to a low-carb lifestyle and found so much success. This is psychology. I feel like it really is something to do with the mind. And we can use dopamine to our benefit. I feel like we can remain in a natural high and have constant, consistent dopamine when we eat better. As a matter of fact, I know it can happen. It is happening for me, and all I can talk about is what's happened while I've been on my journey. We love being right. And when you treat nutrition and what you're going to choose to eat as an experiment, a safe, healthy experiment, it can actually be kind of fun. The best part is when you actually see results with your very own eyes. There was a time a few years ago, I could not walk for a mile without getting out of breath. I'm talking about being around for years and years with your family to enjoy things, to be active, to love your life is possible. And you could live in a sea of dopamine, great energy, be high on life. And I'm living it, guys. I no longer need alcohol for this kind of feeling. Feeling validated, feeling smart, knowing you have control over every decision you make, being a good parent, being a great friend, being a great employee, being an inspiration to others when you lose weight, for example, and show other people how easy it can be when you really focus in, being proud of yourself, achieving a little bit more difficult things is what makes us feel happy to be alive. Stick around in about 30 seconds for my truth bomb. I invite you to list in the comments something that makes you feel good, where you feel terrific when you're doing it, or when you even think of doing it. You may even want to list something you have done in the past that you were proud of in your life. And my truth bomb today is, we are here for a very short blip of time on this beautiful earth that I like to call a paradise. While we are here, we want to feel happy. We want to enjoy our experiences, have good relationships, have good health, and enjoy every moment possible and live a dopamine-rich lifestyle. It's natural. If you want to experience something fresh, new, and exciting, and live a healthier life, I would love you to consider trying a carnivore-based lifestyle. I love my life now. I thought I loved it before, but I was wrong. and I am enjoying every moment that I can. And I feel like eating clean most of the time helps a great deal, and you can do it too. If you have any questions for me, please let me know in the comments and I will answer you. Start today if you like this idea. Thank you for tuning into Love Style today. We'll see you next time. Peace out.